What's up, y'all? It's your girl Brandy from Stay Snatched, and today we're making collard greens in the Instant Pot. So quick and easy to do. Let me show you how. What's up, y'all? We are whipping up collard greens today, and we're doing that in the Instant Pot. A couple of things though, this recipe will work for mustard greens, turnip greens. You want to cook up some kale and give it a little bit of flavor, you can do that too. But today I've got some collard greens and I'm going to show you how you can cook those in the Instant Pot. And so a couple of things to note first. Well, let's take it back a little bit. Why you want to use an Instant Pot for your collard greens? Collard greens, mustard greens, turnip greens, they take all day to cook. And so with the Instant Pot, you're gonna save some time cooking them up. But the other thing is, my guess is that if you got some collard greens that you're whipping up a few other recipes, a few other dishes too. And so the thing about these is you can just put these in the Instant Pot and then walk away, do some other things. You can utilize your oven, you can utilize other areas on your stove. So it's really just gonna give you a little bit more flexibility in addition to saving you some time. So a couple of things I want to point out too is this is 2 pounds. So each of these bags are 1 pound of pre-washed, already picked, the stems removed, collard greens. And so if you're gonna make them in the Instant Pot, why not make them easier by just buying them pre-washed? Because another thing about the whole greens cooking process is the amount of time it takes to pick them, which means remove the stems and then wash them. They need to be washed really well because there's usually a lot of dirt and debris hanging inside the crevices of those leaves. And so this is a good way to kind of save some time. However, the biggest critique that I find myself saying and that I see others say about these greens is that there are a lot of stems. I'm kind of looking at this bag from the outside and I don't see that many stems on this particular bag. But once you open these up, a lot of times there are a lot more stems than you would like there to be and not a lot of leafy greens. And so if you are gonna buy these, buy a few extra than you probably think that you're gonna need because they don't look anything like these. Like you can see how these have nice, full, hearty, thick leaves on them. These are gonna look a little different, but they are a time saver. Anytime I can find these, especially for the holidays, I'm grabbing them and I'm just gonna try to grab me a few more because picking and washing these things is an all-day process. I remember Saturday nights helping my mom wash up greens before Sunday dinner. Heaven forbid a holiday and we had people coming over. Helping my mama all night just pick and wash up some greens is such a process. And so I will say getting those is a really good advantage, but just beware once you open them up and put them in there, you're gonna have a lot of stems and they aren't gonna be as nice and leafy as these. And so if you are gonna buy collard greens that are fresh like this and not bagged, you have to know how to shop for them. And so what I like to look for are nice thick leaves that are nice and hearty and rich and that don't look like they have a lot of debris. Once you get to washing them, you're gonna see that you need to scrub all of the layers of these greens. And so if you were to take them apart, you're gonna wanna scrub really good in there. A lot of people, I just use my veggie wash that I get from the grocery store to wash these. Sometimes I'll let them soak. If I get a batch that looks like they have a lot of debris, which these don't, these actually look pretty good, but I would still wash them. I like to use a veggie wash. Some people use vinegar when they wash them, things like that. You don't need no Dawn dish soap, none of that. I don't think you need any of that because I've seen that floating around on the internets as well, but you don't need any of that. Any store-bought veggie wash, something you found on Amazon will work just fine. That you can choose from to flavor up those greens. So here I have 2 smoked turkey wings. Each of these, so together this is 2.5 pounds. So each of these is probably a little over a pound. And I got a turkey wing this time. I like to use either a turkey leg or a turkey wing. And I got a turkey wing this time because the turkey legs were just so massive at the grocery store. I find these just in the meat area of my grocery store. Local grocers will usually have these. You can maybe ask the butcher at your store, where they are or if they have them, or you may need to go around to a different store if you're trying to use these. These are already smoked. You don't have to cook it. It already has that nice flavor locked in. So when you're using the Instant Pot, I have a 6-quart pot here. And so when I noticed those really large turkey legs, I knew that they weren't even gonna fit down in the pot unless I cut the meat off. And I didn't wanna have to deal with that. So that's another thing to kind of keep in mind when you're shopping for, if you're gonna use a turkey leg, think about that 6-quart Instant Pot, or maybe you have an 8-quart so you can hold a little bit more. But if you have the 6-quart that I'm working with here, take a look at those turkey legs. You want something that is a pound to a pound and a half with just that one leg. And so that's all you're gonna need for the recipe. And so make sure that it's gonna fit. Otherwise, you're gonna have to cut some of that meat off before it goes into the Instant Pot. Some other things that you can use are ham hocks. You can use bacon. If you're gonna use bacon, I would probably cook it in the Instant Pot first. You can saute it right here in the pot and then get some of that flavor of the bacon, maybe even keep the bacon grease in there and cook the greens and all of that flavor. But you can also use ham hocks or salt pork. If you're trying to make this vegetarian, you can just use other veggies. You can throw in some celery, some carrots, whatever you use to add flavor in there. And so there's so many different things that you can use. My preference is just to use smoked turkey. It has so much flavor, but it does have a little less fat than kind of the other options. So maybe keep this a little bit healthy. And so then I've also got some chicken broth. You can use veggie broth if you're like, especially if you're trying to maybe keep this vegetarian. And then I've got a white onion. And then I got 2 garlic cloves. Gonna wanna mince these up. Also, I'm gonna chop up that onion as well. And then I've got some Creole seasoning. So this is very minor ingredients on my end, but feel free to flavor these greens up however you like. Once these are cooked, I like to serve them with some Southern cornbread. So be sure to check out my video on that, my homemade mac and cheese. Check out my video on that, cornbread dressing. I can just keep going on and on, y'all. You can just serve these greens with just about anything you like. So let's go ahead and get started. So first you want to take a tablespoon of olive oil and drizzle that in your Instant Pot on the saute function, and then add 1 cup of chopped white onion, and then add in 2 minced garlic cloves. Give that a good stir, and then start to layer in your collard greens. I'm using 1 pound of greens here, but in a 6-quart pot, you can fit 2 to 3 pounds of collard greens in there. And so you may have to let them wilt down on the saute function, and then add in your smoked turkey leg or turkey wing. And then you're gonna layer in more of your collard greens, 1.5 cups of chicken broth, and 1/2 tablespoon of Creole seasoning. Go ahead and pressure cook those on manual high pressure cooking for 25 minutes. Once the pot indicates it's finished, go ahead and quick release the steam and open it up. And if you like to eat your meat along with your greens, you're gonna shred up that turkey. You can also use ham hocks, bacon, whatever you wish. But if you use something like this, I like to shred it up and then add it to the pot. And there you have it.